Some of the best work on this, I think, has been done by Andy Hargraves and Fink. This great quote I took from some of their work and the book they wrote in 2007 after this paper on sustainable leadership. But this quote from them: "Sustainable leadership matters, spreads, and lasts. It's shared responsibility that does not unduly deplete human or financial resources, and that it cares for and avoids exerting damage on the surrounding educational environment." There's a real richness to that. But one of the things I'm wondering in the last 10 minutes is, rather than thinking about just sustaining change out there, and the educational challenges we've been thinking about initiating, accelerating, and sustaining change in, whether we can shift the discussion to sustaining leadership in here, in their own leadership journey. And I think we might do a couple of more rapid sweeps, if that's okay. And I'd like to hear either any reflections from you or key strategies in authentic weakness, of course. I don't think anyone here at the front saying we've got it all sorted, and if you do, write the 7-chapter book and let's sell it at the airport and get you on the keynote circuit. If not, why don't we go deep around this of how to sustain leadership in those times. So who wants to kick us off? Go for it. Little 30 seconds, and I'm actually going to stop you now if you go beyond.
Personalised learning. One of the things we've learned from our principals that it's not one size fits all. And one of that, how we've done that is through our coaching program, and principals, 55 of our principals coach each other, each have a mentor coach, and I'm coached by one of the principals.
Great. Okay.
Don't sustain. Keep changing. Keep changing.
That's a good.
Just going to let that sit in the room. We're not going to get kicked off the stage. So that was really what. Don't sustain, said to me, Simon. Keep changing, keep changing. Fantastic.
But on the other hand, realise that teachers and children find change difficult, and they need to have time to reflect, embed, I think was what we did yesterday. For example, we do our collaboration, our teacher collaboration. We realise that teachers have a lot of time. We did it. Everybody thought we were mad. Wednesday morning at 7:30. The children sleep late. We're a boarding school. Children sleep late. Teachers come to school, and we have an hour and a half. And we can then really collaborate, because you can't collaborate on a Friday afternoon. It's impossible. You just exist.
Okay, so we're getting a few points here about sort of leading the change in a way that sustains for the staff, these sort of new structures and systems. Can I take you one step more personal, if that's okay, and sort of think, how is it to sustain your leadership, maybe Dan, since 2008 when you really initiated, you're 5 years in now.
I go to massages, that's right.
So just so you know, Dan just said he goes to massages.
My leadership actually is to step out of the way. To really get out of the way. And there are 3 things that we try to do in our school to sustain. The first one is a staff retreat. That's for all staff. I'm talking, my custodian goes to everything. The second one is a monthly half-day PD. Div 1 eats in the morning as a division, and then as grade partners, Div 2 in the afternoon as division and grade partners, and then they reverse one every month. And the third one is a common language. It's the very thing that has saved this whole process, is that we talk the same language, whether we're talking to 5-year-olds or to 55-year-olds. And that's what made the difference for us for sustaining the whole leadership process.
Fantastic. Can I go to you?
I think the first thing from my perspective is to recognise that the leader is not the person that does everything. As school leaders, I think too often we feel that we're responsible to have to do everything when we're out from school. My guess is there's a huge number of people in this room today who haven't turned their mobile phone off. The first thing they did was look at it this morning. They'll look at it every break and opportunity they have, because there's a feeling of inner guilt about being here. And for me, the art of great leadership is actually to serve the people who work with you and for you, and it's about that word empowerment. And very quickly, I remember the other side of that. Ken was an enormous personal influence on my life. And by the way, I knew it before he was a megastar, right? And by the way, it's makeup. I remember him saying to me, "You've got to come out with me to a meeting I'm holding of a few people who I've got together who have got nothing to do with education." And he said, "It's in New York." Now, that was like, well, and I was in the middle of my job as a head, and I said, "I can't." He said, "Come, you've got to come." And I went, and first of all, I met people from all kinds of backgrounds. None of them had anything to do with education. And I learned more about education from that 2 days with them than any course and conference I've been on. But I felt guilty for the 2 days. I went back into school when I got back, and I couldn't wait for them. In a way, there was an element of me that wanted them to say to me, God, thank God you're back. And they never did. They said, by the way, we did this has happened, I know, and then I know. But this has happened, this is what we've done about it. And I remember reflecting back with Ken about that, and he said, Richard, you've now become a leader. And I think that was a really important point about personal development and leadership for me.
Thanks so much for sharing that.
I think it's very important that one interacts with people. I mean, I keep going because I love meeting people, talking to people. I love hearing people's stories. So that's how I keep going. It's wonderful. I've been a head for 25 years in 5 different schools in different situations. And one of the most exciting things has been the opportunity to meet people from around the world, to hear that we're all sharing similar problems. And then at school, to keep going, I think we've got to celebrate the small victories. The small victories of the children, the small victories of the staff. Keep saying well done. Just celebrate, have fun. It's so important. We tend to always look at the downside, but celebrate the small victories of the children and of the staff. It's really important to recognize.
Fantastic. And I mean, these Elder Bridge, one of the things, I guess, in the initiating stage, you are doing a lot of stuff. And to realize that as the change happens, your role shifts. You're still the leader, but actually by doing less, by letting others take empowerment, you're actually functioning in a different role there in the sustaining phase. Peter, can I turn to you and go even more personal, if that's all right? How do you, I could go anywhere now, couldn't I? I've given that lead. How do you sustain yourself as you, so we've heard about how do you sustain the institutional change, but how do you sustain yourself? I mean, how many years have you been in school leadership of some sort? School, district, I'll say any kind of?
20.
About 20.
20.
Yeah, about 20 years. Yeah. And so, either through strength or weakness, what are some insights you can give leaders out here who are trying to sustain the course in driving transformation in Canadian education? How do you keep going?
I could sit here and say it's easy. It's not, actually. It's very difficult. I'm going to tell a little story. 3 years ago, and I really appreciated the comments about the celebration. What we've now started to do is to call some of our celebrations in the Lead the Way campaign as flash mobs of celebration of learning. All right?
Flash mobs of it.
Flash mobs of celebrations of learning. Okay? And so 3 years ago, we had our biggest flash mob. We brought 700 people together at the Ottawa Congress Centre, 350 from our organisation and 350 from the community. And I mean breadth. We had from neurosurgeons to plumbers to window painters, you name it, they were represented in that room. And we started a system action research project based around the question, what are the conditions under which healthy and creative individuals and organisations flourish? Somebody said to me, that question's too long. I said, well, which bit would you like me to take out? Healthy? I don't know. I'll repeat the question. What are the conditions under which healthy and creative individuals and organisations flourish? 18 months we went on that. We posed that question to thousands and thousands of people. Margaret Wheatley actually guided us through that. The findings of that study are just one second.
Another book plug.
We just published this in October, which is really, it's called Unleashing Potential, Harnessing Possibilities, an Odyssey of Creativity, Innovation and Critical Thinking. And this maps our journey for the last 7 years. It's brilliant, and I'll be talking about it tomorrow, and I'll be singing a song with those people in attendance. But it's just a little plug.
I noticed. Yeah. It's good.
But I think some of the findings that emerged from that help me. You've got to be genuine. You've got to live what you believe. You've got to love people. And you have to, I really like Dan Pink's idea that maybe we should scrap the word managerialism and instead replace it with autonomy. But that is very provocative because sometimes the word autonomy is confused with anarchy, right? And so it's a very, very difficult balance. These movements, you know the best thing I learned to do? was to dance. Because if you feed things...
Can you show us a little bit?
In my session tomorrow, I'll show you a dance. But seriously though, if you see things as a fight, it'll kill you. But if you see it as a dance, then you've got a far better chance of moving things forward. And you know what? Ultimately, all of this, if you can generate enthusiasm, we had a fantastic series of creative initiatives, and we got these, I don't have time to go into it, but of all people, our custodial staff came up with the most amazing creative initiative, which saved the school board thousands of dollars. But you've got to generate that enthusiasm for learning throughout to maximize the opportunity to reach and teach every child in the seats of our classrooms.
Well, I can't think of a much better way to end this really, authentic, rich of insights panel that we've had. So, look, I hope you've taken as much out of it as I have.